Is public comments. Gentlemen, anything? Mr. Yeager?
No, sir.
Okay, appreciate it.
You guys are just showing up.
Come on.
Thank you.
Item,
I'll say just real quick, I was out in Crescent Ridge today, those 3 homes. There were some residents going through the homes and said they had permission. I find that difficult to believe, but they were taking stuff out. Those homes are a safety hazard now, serious safety hazard.
I think demolition starts the 21st.
25th, yeah,
Should
next
do
week.
Yeah, next week.
They had
They
accommodations to the gates, and so there was something going on there.
didn't get permission from us. Maybe they got permissions from the people that sold it or something, but we,
no,
They
there
had,
wasn't.
yeah, they had accommodation to the gate, so someone gave them accommodation to the gate. That was concern.
really,
Yes, sir. They unlocked the lock and locked it back when they left.
How many people have that combination?
I would think it's only Jeff Perry and maybe the demo people at this time. You sure they weren't the demo people going
I promise
through
you, they were not. They were residents. I know that they live over there.
the residents in the neighborhood?
going through the house and taking stuff.
Said they had permission.
All right, well, best thing we can do is demo the houses. So we'll endeavor to do that. And so Don and Alan's, what that's all about, it's that of course we're putting a pump station in on the far west side of New Territory. We have Ellis Creek that goes all the way through. There's an existing pump station on the south side. We're putting in a pump station that's about 4 or 5 times larger on the north side. In order to accommodate it, we acquired 3 homes over there. So those
Did you talk
people,
about that in the annual meeting, neighborhood?
I did,
Yes, sir, I remember that, thank you.
and so they moved on, and there was a big discussion about when should we demo the homes. The best way to do it is to demo the homes right as you're beginning the project. Otherwise, if the place is all torn up, we had something of a debate about that. And in any case, the demo should be happening next week, and then construction should start. We awarded a contract at our last meeting or the meeting before. And so that project is rolling. That's about an 18-month project from today. Okay, go ahead, Chris.
All right, we are to item number 2 on the agenda, your general administrative and financial management items. You got some information?
Yeah, we have we're kind of up to date on reimbursement requests. Not the getting the money, but the asking for the money part. We're up to date on, so.
All right, item 2B is to ratify an action you took at your last board meeting, which is to engage BKD to perform a reconciliation of your accounts and prepare a related report. Questions? If not, just need a motion to ratify that action.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item C is financial management plan. I don't think we have anything there for tonight. So we're at item number 3, your capital improvement projects, starting with your river erosion project.
Yeah, not a big update from last week or week before. We're still basically playing the FEMA waiting game. Their 3 to 4 month window falls on between May 11th and June 11th. So that's hopefully sometime between those 2 dates we will hear back from process right now. They don't expect a lot of comments on the plan. So like I just said, hopefully get approval in early June so we can build our last meeting. There's a couple exhibits that didn't quite upload properly, but yeah. But AECOM, they didn't. We're going to do that in early May. We're going to push it out a little bit longer, so we have all of our ducks in a row. They're putting a presentation together to show these contractors. That's kind of looking at mid-May. They should still have plenty of time to do that. Exact quantities, but give them a sense of, we're moving 200,000 yards of dirt. We're buying 100,000 yards of rock. We're starting to get up to that scope. The confirmation from the bookkeeping money's coming back in. Harassing, like I said, AECOM doing for Industry Day, Andrews Myers to get the contract wrapped up, getting everything ready for bid. There's one other thing, Jim, I'm going to ask you to sign today. Y'all know these federal funds, so it's a whole other website portal. I was going to get myself added as an administrator to that. Jenny's been handling it from the Short Bay Charting Office. It's up on the SharePoint file, look at it, but it's a very exciting federal form.
Have you seen this, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
You're okay with me signing it?
let's see, that's really it. Just waiting on FEMA and getting ready.
Erosion control project, we have an internal prep call. Item 3C on the agenda is the beginning of Mr. Ayler's report.
Okay, so hopefully everybody has a copy of my report on your monitor. I did speak to the city's engineer today, and they told me that they're good with the plans. All comments have been addressed. We did submit the package for final signatures, and I'm hopeful to have signed plans back sometime next week. I did review Mr. Willett's letter with regard to kind of the notice that we're going to do. We did receive to have the monitors installed on site and get everything programmed and ready to roll. I have been in contact with the demolition contractor. They're disconnecting the wet services to those homes. But they are set to mobilize next week. Will be the adjacent homeowners.
Walker, you missed, there are residents that have,
We just learned that from Michael Walker.
This may be, okay, so let's back up. So the
Mold and everything, I was shocked. I would suggest you go.
Employee?
No. He's the general contractor for the
Okay.
demo. Yeah.
You just eliminate the problem.
And let's not have anybody else in there, I guess, without supervision.
Yeah.
No, not MBG.
Okay.
Did come by and they picked up the meeting in May, and hopefully we can execute the contracts at that time and move forward with demo contractor to actually mobilize sometime next week. On the detention pond project, we're pretty much in the same status. We're 90% complete with plans. We have addressed most of the comments from the agencies. There are going to be some changes that we would probably have to make. Obviously, if Ms. Kelly does have some part of her septic system in our area of the project, then we probably have to acknowledge that and make some changes to the plans for any of their irrigation lines or anything like that. But really, I think we're in pretty good shape in moving forward with that project when you're ready to go. I have nothing under site access and acquisition unless you wanted to share something, Chris, or we're in good shape there.
No, but going back to the Kelly property, that septic, like we talked about, is going to be a factor in the valuation hearing.
It is, okay?
So I need you to be coordinating with me and the condemnation council on that.
Okay.
So we just kind of need to dust that off and make sure
No.
we're all communicating.
I did go and look at the surveys, and we didn't pick up anything with regard to that. So I'm not sure that it's in the area of concern, because we only surveyed the area that we were taking.
Would you be able to determine from an on the
If she
ground
would allow us on her property, we should be able to. But there also the grass, I mean, they're probably just little sprinkler heads. And if the grass isn't maintained properly, we probably didn't even see it if they were within the property that we were acquiring. I still would be very surprised that we would not be able to. It's an aerobic system. We should be able to modify where the sprinkler heads are, and we haven't done that, at your direction. We hadn't moved forward with any questions to the county.
Right. Well, I think that's still the right path. I think I'm recommending that you do an on-the-ground survey. Just go out there and look at it, see what we got in relation to that.
And we have we just obviously need to be courteous and letting her know we're getting back.
But you got the right to be there.
Okay.
Legal right to be there.
All right. Not a problem, we'll do it. on the reclaimed water project. Since our last meeting, we are finalizing the plans. We're getting ready to resubmit, addressing comments. We have prepared the meets and bounds for the easements that we're needing from the HOA. I also prepared, Mr. Walker, I don't know if you had a chance to look at what I sent you, but it's the meets and bounds and individual exhibits for each easement, but I also had them added to an aerial so you kind of knew where we were in the world. Once you've had a chance to look at it, give me a buzz and we can maybe set up a conference call if you have any questions. Once we have the easements, our intention would be to go back to the city and get final signatures, and then we would be ready to bid the job at your direction. Under item F, I'm not sure if Phil would want to add to this one, but for the Texas Water Development Board, I did ask for a meeting with the reviewer to kind of go through some of the comments that they were making with regard to the environmental stuff. I walked her through all the things that we had already done, which is some of the same things that they're going to expect from us. The summary of that meeting is that she just asked us to pull all that together. Any historical commission documents, we just pulled it together and we started sending all that information to them. She is going to make a determination if any other reports need to be done. And I had my environmental folks on that call to walk her through some of the issues that have come up on other grant programs that they administer, to see if there was a way to not have to go through some of the reporting that they were going to possibly ask for, because some of those are dead in the water because of the red tape that you need to go through with the Corps and other agencies, and they were like, they should have had no issues at all. There should have been no need to go through the Corps, yet they required it, and you can't get the Corps out of the project because they're overwhelmed with work right now.
TWDB required the Corps come out?
They have not required it yet.
For us, but for other projects?
They have on another project that was through the Texas Water, yes. Yes. But we think we're close on convincing them that it won't be required in the end, but we haven't gotten a final determination. But it delayed that project for a good 6 to 7 months. On the status of the emergency action plan, we did have our meeting with Phil, the operator, and the technical committee. We've addressed those comments and then reissued it for everybody's review. I also sent it to your attorney to have them look at it. If everybody gives me a thumbs up on it, then what we'll do is final the document, print it up, and then we can take formal action at a future board meeting to accept it. Remember that this document is to reflect the facilities that we have on the ground today. It does not reflect the construction of the new pump station. That we will update it at a future date once we're further along with the pump station. We'll also, once we adopt that emergency action plan, we'll forward that to the county, because they do expect an annual, each year they come back and ask us for any updates to that plan. I did receive plans from for the mosque, and I will be reviewing that, if not this week, sometime next week. I skipped item H on the flood protection improvements. I got a call from the engineer, ironically enough, today, and he updated me. They have not finished their drainage study yet, but for some reason, even though they haven't finished their drainage study, they found that they're going to need a detention facility in association with building that berm for the protection of 90A and 99. They're working with the Smith family to figure out where they want that detention facility to be placed, and They're also contemplating doing a combination of modifying the intersection of floodgate at that location, not just one or the other.
Was this Ike? Who did you speak with? Who was the engineer?
I spoke to their
facility. Was that to mitigate area that they were taking out of the floodplain?
yes.
So one of the things that we might be able to do if and I haven't been able to get through to Ike at the county, but and then of course we have a new commissioner coming in. I'm not quite sure who it's going to be. There's going to be an election and all that. But if we were to get into a joint venture with them, and whether, I'm not quite sure what it would look like, but we have all kinds of mitigation we can use. We took 53,000 cubic feet out of the floodplain with the external channel. We're taking quite a bit out, over 90,000 cubic feet with what we're doing on the river erosion project. If we had a joint venture, would we be able to apply that to them and so they wouldn't have to do it?
Maybe. I don't know enough about how much they're taking away versus how much we gave.
It is an asset, but we do it for free necessarily.
Yeah, and the other thing is, he did emphasize, and I'm not sure if that's why he called me, but he emphasized that this berm would not satisfy a levee. So they're planning on building it a foot above whatever they think the elevation of
I'd like to have a meeting with them so we can kind of see if there's an opportunity, a joint venture between us, maybe in our mid-May type thing. At that point.
Oh, you want to have them come to this meeting? Okay. Yeah, I could ask. Yeah.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work, we can have a call. But this way, all the directors can participate. And the other thing that we're going to need to do as a board, we have to take a look at the Freeze-Nichols study, because if you look at that, we're really only at risk from the 500 year. And so instead of kind of going into that now, there's a discussion that goes around that about what we need to do.
Well, the deal, and I think I mentioned this at the last meeting, I got a call from the county drainage district. And, you know, obviously they were trying to be as tactful as they could be. But they've created these inundation maps, and I'm sure you can access them right now if you want it. But if I remember correctly, it's elevation 56, and that's at the river gauge, okay? They stopped at that elevation. Essentially, that's pretty damn close to what a 100-year would be on the river.
That was the 100-year. I think they changed it though, right?
But that's about that's just kind of like an average between all the levee districts. And essentially, they're only putting on the internet access to the inundation maps to that elevation. But they showed us what was going on with intervals 1 foot above that.
Yeah.
And go to 57, and we got water coming into the district. So, and it's coming in from the north side, you know, on the, it's actually coming in on the northeast side over there by Ellis. But as soon as you start adding a foot, it's, you know, it obviously impacts us more and more. The point is that they're obviously aware that we don't have the full 3-foot freeboard. And so the statement that they made was that at some point, and they couldn't tell us when, but the goal of the county is to recognize the Freese-Nichols study and remap the floodplain throughout the greater, throughout Fort Bend County. Now, he also indicated that at working with the Corps, they haven't figured out exactly how they're going to implement moving forward on making sure that all the districts are compliant with freeboard requirements. But he said they're talking about that internally, and at some point they are going to make a determination on how they're going to implement that. I've explained to them that we're in the process of initiating our final big project, and that is that North Levee issue. And I had asked them to make sure that they cooperate with us, because the last thing that we would ever want is that somehow they take away our certification for our levee system. And I made it very clear that, you know, our district brings at least $1.5 billion in value to the county, that it would be like shooting themselves in the foot. And he said, we know that, and we are going to work with your district, but we need to have some assurances that you guys are moving forward with this process. And I explained to him that it was on the agenda, and you know, that was a project that we would be looking closer at in the future. And I had also mentioned that we were working with DeMerchant on that intersection of 99 and 98.
Yeah.
So, and that we might expand that further to make that part of our North Levee
And
solution.
do they have an elevation now? You know, you talk about 3 feet of freeboard, but is that gonna stay? Because in the past, we haven't really known what standard.
You're talking about what standard to meet the requirements of the Corps?
We really know.
Yeah, I can tell you, different engineers have different opinions, and I can tell you that the Corps' criteria is ambiguous when it comes to that. You know, the way I interpret it is that you should have a minimum of 3 feet. That natural ground should be 3 feet above the 100-year. Yep,
Well, that's your interpretation.
that's my interpretation.
Is this whether, is it the county we need that?
No,
Ultimately, it's the National
Yeah.
Flood Insurance
Yes.
Program in the FEMA firm maps.
and they typically will defer to the higher agency. That's typically the way the county has dealt with things. I mean, why would you spend millions and millions of dollars on freeboard if you're not going to have it everywhere?
No, I didn't say that. It just-
But I understand your
I don't wanna
point.
come up- I don't want to come up with such a short with that they, you know.
I got you. I understand that. It's compliance. It's the compliance question, and whether or not they have the right to decertify your
No,
levy system.
that's not the question. The question is, do we know what it is we'll have to meet with certainty?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain it's 3 feet.
3 feet.
Bill's gotta be the one to certify it.
3 feet, yes, 3 feet, but above what level?
100-year.
100
The
year,
effective 100-year.
based on a bunch of assumptions that they have to define.
Well, we have the
No, what do you
free,
mean? It's based on the effective models. It's what FEMA adopts. It's not based on
Have
the,
they adopted it?
they have not adopted the Friesen Nichols study, but they have one that's adopted right now that's effective. And that's what you need to be compliant with.
well, they're probably going to adopt the Freeze-Nichols studies, right? I mean, everything indicates that they
Yes,
are.
but they have to go through the process, which is going to require loamers and,
No, so I got that. Let's say that's a 2 or 3 year process, whatever the process is. We're
Correct.
going to come out the other side. So we don't want to do anything using the old model and then in 2 or 3 years be at risk. And so
Well,
there is some assurance that,
you're not. Actually, the Friesen Nichols for you is actually dropped the water surface by about a half a foot on the west and
yeah.
close to a foot on the east.
So this
To
is,
your benefit.
this is why I'd like to have the discussion at our mid-May meeting, because it's a far-ranging topic. There's a section, the Freeze-Nichols study is, 200 pages long, 150 pages, but there's a couple pages in there that deal specifically with us, and they have diagrams that show the 100-year and the 500-year, and then we have the county involved, and they have this effort going on the north side, and all that. I'm not sure I'm looking for any resolution at a mid-May meeting, but what I am looking is for the board to come up to speed and feel like they have all the facts, and then we kind of know what questions to ask, or more, what questions need to be answered before we can make a decision type thing. So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think, there are two topics in my opinion. One is that specific project at 99 and 98, okay? Definitely, I think we need to try to get them in here. But I think there's the other topic, and that is the long how is the county in the future going to implement this new study? You know, what is their long-term plan on remapping the floodplain? You know, timeline. I think there needs to be a meeting with county officials. I don't think this forum is the right forum, not immediately. I think that there needs to be a technical committee, or if we can legitimately set up a way to meet with the board, meet with the county officials in a special meeting, then maybe we set that up and have a down and dirty meeting with them and talk very frankly about what's going on. Your engineer, out of all the levee districts that my company deals with, this was the first district they spoke to, because we're obviously most vulnerable because of that north levee issue. But there are other districts that have issues also, but they're impacted by higher elevations.
Okay. I think I'm open to almost any, I'd really like the entire board to be there. If we don't have to have it at night if the county
No, we
needs
can
to
do it in the daytime, do a special meeting. Is there a way to do a special meeting at the county?
No,
So it would have to be in the district, or
unless we first designated their meeting location as an official meeting
is
location.
LJA an approved? Okay.
But we can.
When we can set it up here?
We can designate one. I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
It's not hard.
If there's a good reason to.
We had it at Costello.
I
I think
think-
Costello was a.
They contacted me, okay? So
Our firm is
what we can meet-
designated
we can meet at your place.
conference room.
Where's your office, Bill?
We're right off of Richmond and the Beltway.
Okay, well, that's,
And we're also out in Katy too, I mean, but that probably would be further for you guys.
Richmond and the Beltway works better for you, I guess.
I'm in 290 and 610, so I can go anywhere during the day.
You can also just meet here.
Yeah, this would be a convenient spot if we can get a room in this facility.
Yeah. I mean, that's possible during the day, you think, Michael?
Depends on what you need, we got the school here every
Yeah.
day,
Oh, do we?
depends on the time and everything else.
All right, let's make it, we can make it at the county. I mean, we may do this in the future. If we're going to get in some sort of joint venture, we might need it.
Just throwing it out there, you can get a conference room at the Marriott too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good place.
All right, let's do that. That's right on 59, and, yeah. And so for our, that would be, it would be a meeting open to the public, if we're all going to be there.
Yeah,
Well, I think we might go meet at the city hall too.
well, I always get accused, probably rightly, of throwing some cold water on good ideas, but I'm gonna throw some cold water anyway. I don't think this is a meeting that the county's gonna want open to the public. And I'm not sure you all want it open to the public necessarily either. I hear what you're saying about all the board members being involved and informed, but this is going to be a dialogue between you and the county,
Yeah.
by definition. And having that dialogue in a public forum may not be to your best advantage.
So the committee could have that meeting at their office without,
Committee can, two members of the board can meet anywhere.
Then why don't Jeff and I do that, and we'll have it at the
That's where he's
county's,
gonna wanna have it.
at the county's preferred
yeah,
location.
we'll do it over at flood control, drainage district.
Do it there, or they can do it at McDonough. Is it McDonough? It's actually the engineering.
That's the engineer.
Yeah, so I think,
But that's for the specific intersection project.
okay.
I'll get it set up.
Yeah, sometime, and so we'll still have our meeting. Maybe we can have that meeting prior to the board's mid-May meeting. Then I think Jeff and I would come back, and then we would just update everybody.
Okay. I got you covered.
All right, thank you.
That's all I got.
Hey, Bill,
Yes.
AECom could really use a letter from you to the drainage district saying you're good with their plans and that we own it or what, you know. I think they still need a letter from you.
Oh, just a typical plan review letter?
Yeah.
Just like you're doing for the malls?
I thought I did already.
Tyson mentioned today with comment that he still needs a letter from you, so.
Okay.
We're harassing you.
All right. Thank you.
And they just get it, hopefully it's just a resend thing. But it's not like you still need a letter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else for Bill? All right, we're to item number 4 on the agenda, which is the attorney's report, and I don't have anything for you for tonight. Item 5, website and communications. Caleb, anything?
No.
Appreciate it.
How's Michael doing?
It's all right. It's fine. I can make it.
Okay.
And then item 6 is closed session, and unlike most other meetings of the board, I'm not recommending that you all go into closed session for any purpose.
So it's not possible we could be ending a meeting after 40 minutes, is it?
I know, I'm shocked. When was the last time we did that?
I've never known you all. I've been with you for 3 years
A
now.
really long time. Jim, I think it may have been prior to having 5 board members, but the last time we had a 40-minute. Well, that's true.
Jerry went here causing trouble, that's what.
Yeah.
That's what it was. We're on our best
You
behavior
are?
for me, as we learn to stay.
Okay.
I mean, the only.
No false sense of security for you, Nate. They're not all like this, but you know that.
All right.
All right, motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
All